Well, you know what? I don't care. Okay. Let's share on LinkedIn. I already share on Twitter. And we are going to start right away. There we go. Okay. Hello. I've been busy. I just started today stream late. It's almost 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Today is it's Friday, or what day is it? Wednesday? No, Tuesday, I think. 19th, 2022, May, and it's almost. Whoa! My mouse is dying. Anyway, I've been very busy this morning, and yesterday I didn't come back to keep learning because I got a very interesting email. I got approved to have a developer account on Twitter, which means that I can make requests to the Twitter API. It was very difficult for me because I didn't know what to do. I forgot that I actually requested access to the Twitter API in January, and I don't remember how or when, but the thing is, during that time, my wife was in very bad condition. She was suffering from colon cancer, and we didn't know about it at the time. So I guess that during my experiments or whatever, I sent a request to Twitter in order to have a developer account. That didn't happen because obviously I wasn't putting attention to that. But anyway, the thing is, I replied to some emails that landed on the spam folder for some reason, and now I have an active developer account. And well, let me show you here. So I reviewed the videos from the course, and these videos are outdated slightly because there is a new Twitter API. If you go to Tweepy, which is the recommended, well, it's a library that allows you to interact with the Twitter API, and it's quite very well documented, and I'm still reading about this. And I was able to create my first Twitter experiment, so to speak. Let me see which one of those is Twitter. Okay, let's get into Twitter. So I was able to create a Python script that allows me to tweet stuff. And my first project was basically to create a folder, or may I say, well, a project that allowed me to tweet jokes. Let me find one. There we go. On this tweet, this was generated from the Python script, and I'm basically just posting Twitter jokes with PyJoke. So basically, I'm not even writing the jokes myself. So how does it work? Well, this is another experiment. Let me see. Where is the other one? There we go. So this is the PyJoke. In order to be able to show this in the stream, I managed to figure out how to hide my consumer keys in order to stream live and not get my keys stolen or replicated somewhere else. So I'm getting them from a package called load.emp, and those are safely stored outside the reach of the Git log, So it's not in the Git story. It's not committed to Git. So Nobody can access them, and they are pretty well hidden, I guess. So I'm getting those, the consumer token, the consumer key, the consumer secret, access token, access secrets. And this is an example of how to basically tweet. Given the credentials, you can create a client object here that allows you to create a client that connects to Twitter. And if your API application, your application is, let me show you the application thing. There we go. So, well, here are the, I created a project called Funny AI. And basically the idea is to create a bot that tweets Python jokes twice a day. That's basically it. It's nothing out of the ordinary. And it's not really a spammy bot. I'm not planning to make this a spamming. So this is the developer portal. Pretty nice. And the idea is to create these Python jokes. Let me show you how it works. Let's see. Okay, I was running some unit tests here. Okay. I believe it is in section 17. Okay. I don't remember how to start. There we go. I'm going to activate an environment. There we go. And now I can run my test. Well, not really test. I'm going to run the script. There we go. So this is the name of the script. I'm going to run this script. Let's review the code really quickly. So once I instantiate this client here with my access tokens, I should be able to basically create a request to the Twitter API. In this case, I'm using the Twitter API version 2 because this is a newly released API for Twitter. And you know me, I like to use the most. I love to live on the edge of technology. So I guess that for retrocompatibility, it will be good to understand how the version 1 API works. But if Twitter is pushing the use of version 2 and 3-legged authentication, I'm going to move forward with that. So what do we have here? Well, on line 32, interestingly enough, you can see here I'm creating this response variable, and I'm going to use the client that I instantiated before with the help of Trippy, and I'm going to call the create tweet method that comes with the client. And the only thing I need to pass here in this case is this name attribute, this name argument called text. And here I'm just passing a formatted a string that it's basically just printing out this is a Python with an emoji here, a Python joke. This is a Python joke. And then 2 new lines in order to create some space. And then I am invoking the PyJokes library to get a single joke at random. So I'm doing this, and let's make some experiments here, shall we? So let's run this, and at the end, since this response is going to receive, there we go. So in order, I can get the response ID, and Twitter uses the ID of the response as part of the of a tweet URL. So if I concatenate all of this and then concatenate the response ID, I get a useful URL that I can use to get to the tweet immediately. So let's run this. So what this is going to do is going to send a tweet, and now it's going to print out the URL. If I click on this with Control click, I'm going to get a link to the recently created joke. And this is the joke. And this comes from the Python script that I just showed you. Pretty cool, right? So this is a really good experiment. After finishing this yesterday, because I was doing a lot of experimentation, I was reading a lot of the Twitter API documentation and the Twippy documentation and PyJoke documentation, and I was able to basically find this. So I'm not spamming this under a Python script that is running over and over again. I wonder if I can, instead of making this, how do you call it? Instead of making this run manually, I could basically move this Python script into my, I have a Linux computer. I even have a server that I use on my local area network. I can make it live there, install Python there, install all the libraries, and allow Git with Linux Bash scripting. I can make a periodic batch file that basically runs twice a day, and it's going to execute the Python joke script. I can combine Linux Bash with Python scripting and basically call this. I wonder if there is a way that I can schedule execution times for this Python code, because with what I know right now, I cannot come with anything simple or sensible, because the easy thing for me will be to just run the Python script and I don't know, maybe evaluate every single minute what time is it inside the script, and when the time comes, tweet about something. But that would be running a Python script all the time. And I would like to know if there is a tool within Python, inside the Python realm, that allows me to schedule execution times for my scripts. I haven't studied that too much. I haven't researched about that, but I guess another solution will be to actually, I haven't read this one. A core programmer makes millions with year-to-K remediation and decides to get cryogenically frozen the years 999. You know, cover right? Okay. Oh, there is a space. Oh my god.
Learning journey with the world. Welcome all. And while we go a little bit back and forth between the companies demonstrating their products and discovery tools, I welcome especially the speakers here. Feel free to unmute and ask various questions, feedback, reactions.
So this is interesting.
One-on-one, or more so me talking to a mic audience. All right, Alan, let's get started. Let's start with the Twitter developer products, specifically Twitter SDKs. Can you talk a little bit about how did it first come about?
Barrier to entry for Twitter API is pretty high. I mean, this is coming from even before working at Twitter. I was building some integrations with Monday.com and
this is going to destroy
and the search endpoint with the Twitter API. And I spent a lot of time just digging through documentation and just trying to learn how it works. And the query itself is like kind of a beast of its own. And just looking through, like, there has to be an easy way to like figure this stuff out. And of course,
Patrick,
community built
hello there. How you doing?
Which actually like simplifies this process.
I was explaining how to tweet jokes on Twitter using a Python script like this.
Into what the community wanted,
but
they wanted something.
When I was checking that out, I just discovered that there is a Twitter dev space open, and I was listening to that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No longer maintained or.
Okay, let's see the joke.
And so we released two of
this is the joke
recently built for on
but well, anyway,
Java.
So that's what the script does, basically.
So it's
It twists
pretty much
stuff.
exactly the same as the community built ones. Full endpoint wrapping, full OAuth 2 support.
Okay.
And it's always going to be up to date no matter what, since it is Twitter maintained.
I may like to be there, but I really need to get back to work. And that's the thing. Sometimes you just don't have the time. You need to select what you want to invest your time in. But anyway, so this is a good example. I after a good reading time of the API version 2 and Tweepy, I was able to log into the app and basically tweet the stuff. Obviously, I need to be very careful because of not spamming the API too much. I was able to programmatically get a lot of information about other users other than me, other than myself. And it's very interesting because I didn't expect to be able to do just that. For example, yesterday, I was tweeting about that when I finally got into, there we go. For example, this, I did a small project, a small script that allowed me to gather information about users, including their follower count and every single one of their followers. So after that, I tried to figure out what can I find out about their users, and it come to my surprise that I can figure out a lot of things. And as I was reading the documentation around here, I just find out that I am actually an elevated, I had elevated permissions to do stuff. And I didn't know about it. If I got to, I wonder if I can check it out here. There we go. So access to this API version 2 allows you to get a lot of more information about Twitter users. So I wonder why. So so I figured, well, why can I do that? Well, it ends up that I'm not an essential developer account. I am actually an elevated developer account, which is really great because it allows me to touch more endpoints and gather more data about users and tweets. And obviously, I just got less than 24 hours. I got access yesterday at night, but I've been poking around the API, and it's pretty interesting the amount of things that you can learn about everything. So where was the example? I think, okay. So here, this is a very simple script that I managed to hack away yesterday. And you can write a username, get their follower count, and get an entire list of all of their followers. And if you want to go even deeper, you can start getting how many tweets they all had done, the tweet rate. You may even calculate the tweet rating, and basically figure it out with some scripting. You can figure it out which of those accounts are actually fake accounts, because that was something that somebody asked me. If I can figure out which of those accounts seems to be fake. And there is really no way to know, because some accounts seems to be fake and some accounts seems to be for real people. And I myself, for a long time, I've been using Twitter to just spam links from my YouTube, and I haven't used Twitter properly. So I may pass as a bot myself, you know. And in this case, if I am typing, for example, what's this? This is my Twitter, my Python jokes. And this seems like something that a human being could have done. But in reality, this comes from a script, you know? So it's really hard to analyze tweets themselves because the content doesn't really tell you anything about the user unless there is an obvious copy paste. And what I mean is like, for example, one account posts something and many other accounts copy the same text just as is and post it again. And they like each other or they like a single account. So I was able to sort of detect that because the timing was very short, you know. So let's say somebody posts something and then suddenly like 1,000 accounts are liking that very same post in seconds. And on some of those accounts are not even followers. So that's yeah, that's a little bit weird. But anyway. The thing is, I've been hacking away from just the other night, and I was able to work on that up until midnight. And I was really getting distracted with all of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in the back burner, the Twitter API thing. I'm going to put that in the back burner, and I may like to finish with my actual training and learning process for Python. So where are we? I am learning from here. I am here. I am about to finish the web development section on this course. This teacher is using Flask for software for web development, and I've been using Flask for years, but I was only using it for backend development. So it's very simple. It's just a library. It's not a framework. So you basically add a decorator to a function, and that function becomes an endpoint. You can basically, that's all you had to do. You can basically create endpoints that return stuff. In my case, the first time I was running those, I was just working on how do you call it? Let me try to run the server here. Okay. What? Something is running here. Oh my god! Please don't be that way. There we go. Oh, there was something running on the background. Oh my god! Never mind. Okay. Let me move into the what? It's section 19. Okay. And I don't remember the command to actually, I should memorize that one. I need the command to, oh, there we go, it's here. I need to start there we go, my environment. There we go. I am running on the environment. And now I'm going to run my server. Let's see, server.py. I wonder if that's running. I don't think it's running. Oh, wait. I think I'm running two environments right now. I guess that's the issue. There we go. Okay, let's try again. I don't see output. I wonder if it's actually working. I don't think so. But okay, I'm going to debug that one. Okay. I'm going to deactivate here. There we go. It's not doing anything. Why not? Let me see my server.py. Oh no, wait. I'm not supposed to run this. No. I forgot how to run this thing. Okay. Flask templates. Setting not Flask.
Welcome back. It's time to use Python and build our real server.
Thank you.
Now, what should we do here first?
I just want the documentation, actually. Thank you. Forward. There we go. Okay, this is one endpoint. Export Flask hello. There we go. This is the command I need. There we go. I should memorize this once, but I've been working just from yesterday. No module name Flask. Oh, wait. I guess I need to activate it here. It's not working again. What did I do? I wonder if, since I already activated here, there we go. Okay, I guess I need to deactivate it from here anyway. Okay, so I got my server running again. Let's open this is the website. So I basically just downloaded a template, and I renamed most of the links to pictures and links and whatnot. And with what Flask allows you to do is build all of that with just templates. And this is the code in Python that I actually need to write in order to get the endpoints running. And this is it, basically. At this time, I only got this one working out. I don't think I have the other ones working, but it doesn't really matter. I was continue watching the videos, but I didn't code along because I'm not planning to use Flask for web development anyway. It's really good for creating RESTful APIs that remain simple, you know. But in my opinion, I guess I'm going to be sticking with Django, and I'm going to need a recent updated Django course anyway. Well, what time is it? It's 11:20. Oh my god, I've been wasting a lot of time just talking. And here, what I got here is I found a PyTest library or framework. I don't know what it is. I think it's a library. And I managed to create test-driven development files here. I was testing out the waters with PyTest to create tests and assertions and whatnot. Because my next projects are going to be test-driven development projects. I'm basically writing tests, then writing functionality, then and then refactor. Basically the cycle of red, green, blue, red, green, refactor. But anyway, let's close this one. So here is where we are now. Let's continue with the course. Where were we? There we go, here.
Welcome back. We have our Flask application that saves user contact information to a CSV file. And this is all great. It's working really, really nicely, right? We have a beautiful website. We even have contact forms. But there's a problem here. You see, we're running the browser as well as the server on the same computer. But this isn't real life, because if I give this URL to a friend, they're not going to be able to see it, because this address points to localhost. It's saying localhost like this. It's the same thing, but localhost simply means your computer. So it's not like anybody else but us can access our app. That's not
Yeah.
very fun, is it? Ideally, we can create this app so we can send it to all our friends, our family members, and possibly future employers. So how can we do this? In this video, I'm going to show you a really fun, easy way to deploy your application or your website online. We're going to use something called Python Anywhere. And Python Anywhere is going to allow us to host our files, that is all the files that we have here, onto a server that they give us for free. So this is completely free. All you have to do is simply log in, and you can click on sign up. You can see that they have different pricing plans, so you can actually pay for their service, but for a beginner plan, where you can create one web application, you can do that for free. So let's create a beginner account and create your username and password. Agree to the terms? Sure, I've read everything. Oh, somebody else took my username. How dare they? Let's go with Andre N. So again, create your own account, and there we go. We have our dashboard. Now, the way Python Anywhere works is that we need to load up the files on a machine. Kind of like how we have our files over here on our computer, we need to somehow upload them to Python Anywhere's computers. Now, the way we can do that is using GitHub. So I'm going to open up my GitHub account. I'm going to click on New Repositories, and I'm going to create my project here. So let's just call it Portfo, because it sounds kind of cool, and all the training names are short like this. So this is my portfolio project. I'm going to keep it public, and then initialize with a README, and then create a repository. Now,
And then the
from here,
repository.
I'm going to clone this repository. If you have
Yeah,
SSH
that's the easy
setup,
way.
copy the SSH, otherwise use HTTPS, which might ask you for your GitHub password when you clone. So all I have to do now is to open up a new terminal. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And say git clone.
Git clone.
And copy and paste the URL so that it clones our project. Now from here, if I open this, we have our web server and then our portfolio, which is our GitHub account. So we can just copy the files here. Now, the one that we actually need
And
is
then
we need
push.
a database, CSV, because these are going to be the files that we want to upload to Python Anywhere. So for now, let's just select the CSV file, the server.py, the static folder, the templates folder, because those are all the files that run our Flask app. Now, if I copy and paste this in here, you might be asking yourself, what about the other files?
Yeah, the other ones.
Well, there's a neat trick here, because these files over here were created because of our virtual environment, right? We have things like Flask installed. We have libraries like Python 3.7. We have our PyCache folder. Essentially, these folders created the virtual environment for us. However, there's an interesting trick here that we can do. We can run a command called pip freeze. And remember, you might have to do pip 3 based on what type of installation you have of Python on your machine. But if you do pip freeze with this little arrow and then requirements.txt, notice what happens as that requirements.txt gets added to my project. Watch this. Do you see that? I get a requirements.txt. And this requirements.txt, if we click on it, we see here that we have the requirements for our app to work. And the cool thing about this is that the Flask and then the Jinja for our templating, which we actually include in our libraries here, can now be used with the requirements.txt to not necessarily upload them to GitHub, but instead use this file as a way for us to install on any future
Okay,
machine.
back.
I get a requirements.txt. And this requirements.txt, if we click on it, we see here that we have the requirements for our app to work. And the cool thing about this is that the Flask and then the Jinja for our templating, which we actually include in our libraries here,
Jinja
can now be
templating.
used with the requirements.txt to not necessarily upload them to GitHub, but instead use this file as a way for us to install on any future machines any of these dependencies. I'll show you what I mean. For example, what we could do is upload all of these files to Python Anywhere, right? But that's a lot of files and a lot of work. Instead, we only upload the critical files that we wrote plus the requirements.txt, and automatically Python Anywhere is going to be able to install Flask and the Jinja and all the other requirements by looking at the requirements.txt. So for now, let's go back to our desktop and copy the requirements.txt as well into our Portfo page. So we now have all the files that we need for GitHub. If we go back, we can simply go into our Portfo folder,
Okay.
and then simply say git add everything, then git commit and give it some sort of a message, my portfolio website. There we go. And then finally git push origin master.
A single push
Just
to
like that, I go
master.
back to GitHub. And
Yeah, it's
refresh.
going to be there.
Look at that.
Everything.
I
Yeah.
have all my files for my portfolio project. So using GitHub, we can now upload really, really easily to our Python Anywhere dashboard.
Ah, that's
So
a
the way
really
we do this
interesting
is to
place.
actually now clone this repo with all these files, and we'll use HTTPS. Let's copy this, and then go to our dashboard. Now in here, in the console, we can hit bash. So this will open up the terminal where our computer that is hosted by Python Anywhere.
Clone it there?
It's a
Oh
little
my god.
In
Okay.
here, I can say git clone and clone this repo.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Now, if we do ls, and remember this is a Linux machine, so Linux commands like ls is going to work.
ls.
So we see that we have the readme text and the portfo. So let's go into portfo. And we see here that we have, look at that, all our files on our machine.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, the cool thing is that if I go back to the dashboard and I go into my files, you see here that in the directories, I have a Portfo project, which is my files that we've created. How cool is that? So I now have all the files necessary for me to run an app. But how can we run an app? Well, we have a web app tab. So remember, with the free tier, we get access to one free web app. So let's open up the web tab and add a new web app. So unfortunately, with the free tier, you can't have custom domain names. There is no way for you to say andrenagoe.com or whatever
You
website
need to
you want.
pay
They're
for
going to do
that.
But that's something that you can look into on your own if you want to pay for it. But for now, let's just use the free tier. So we can select the Python framework that we want to use. And I'm actually going to do manual configuration. We can pick whatever Python version we want. Let's do 3.6 for now because that's what we've been using. And then finally click next. There we go. We have our Python project. This URL address. But if I click on this,
Interesting.
all right, I get a hello world. It's working, but this isn't our portfolio. So how can we make that work? There's a few things that we need to set up. First, I'm going to link you to this tutorial on showing you how to set it up in case you have any problems. But let's go step by step. First, what we need to do is scroll down and enter the source code. So where is the code that we're looking for? If you remember, let's go over here to Files. We have our portfo folder. So what we want to do in the web is to say that we want portfo in here. And it's going to automatically create that link for us. So that's where our source code, our server code exists.
Yeah, this is DevOps territory already.
Python anywhere. And then we have to set up our virtual environment. So we have to open up our console. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And then just run these commands. So in our case, because we're using Python 3.6, we're just going to copy this, go to our dashboard, into the bash once again. So that is the computer that we're going to serve our files from. And then copy and paste to create a virtual environment called my virtual env. And while that's installing, our next task is to install Flask.
Install Flask.
Copy this. So let's run pip install Flask. And you'll notice here as Flask is being installed that we're now in a virtual environment. See here how it says my virtual env, which was what we told it to name our virtual environment. And then the next step is to run this command. Well, actually this command won't do anything because this command, work on, simply takes us to our virtual environment, which we already have created. This is for next time whenever you, let's say, go back and open up the console to make sure that you're always working in our virtual environment. Now in here, if I look at the files,
work on my virtual env. Okay.
But I can also run using the requirements.txt that we have in case we have a lot of dependencies. We can actually run this command so that
and it's going to download them directly there without the need to include them in the Git repository.
To our portfo, and then run this command.
There we go.
In case we don't have that many requirements and everything is set since we installed Flask. But this is how we can use the requirements.txt to install all our dependencies. Awesome. So going back to the tutorial, we see that we've set up our virtual environment and we need to go to our web tab to set up our virtual environment so that it knows where the web tab to look for this environment. So going back, we can now go to our web.
I wonder if I can...
This is what happens when you do configuration. It's one of those things that you just have to learn or follow documentation. In here, in the virtual env, we will simply, as they ask, add the name of our virtual environment, which is my virtual env. So again, we'll copy this.
I wonder
it gives us
what cloud service are they using in the background. AWS maybe?
It'll take a few seconds, but
Google Cloud? I don't know.
I get the hello world.
I mean, like to have Google Cloud access.
To be running, right? So
they have a very simple and easy to use cloud service. Okay. So that's... Wait a minute. So this is...
Welcome back.
Python Anywhere.
Flask application that saves user contact information.
Let me add a note here.
So this
is can I make a link over here? No. Well, it's just Python everywhere, anywhere. It's Python anywhere. Yeah.
It's completely free. All you have to do is
just a quick note there.
Deploy our portfolio website is to go to the configuration file right here. When we click on this, you'll get a whole bunch of text.
Whoa, what the hell is that?
You can actually delete a ton of these things. You'll see over here that you can have things set up based on what framework you use, like Flask.
Okay, Flask, Django and Flask.
All of this code. Just Flask.
The Flask code.
And we'll remove the comments. So we have sys.
Whoa. Okay.
And it has some description here that you can read on your own. But the key thing that we want is to remove the comments from here.
Okay. Wow.
We want to make sure that the directory, so Andre, has a path to
the Flask app for
home, username, and then the name.
Interesting.
Next, we want to make sure that we give the name as the name of our file. So in my case, it was server.py. If you remember, I have server.py right over here.
Oh, this is another important video.
Is the variable and server is the file name. So if you have a different file name, let's say you have run.py, then you'd put run here. So let's do server. Let's see it save. And let's go back to the web. If I reload and run this, we get an error. Now, an interesting feature of Python Anywhere is that we can actually look at the logs. So over here, the log files, we can see what errors or what the server is logging. So let's look at
logins.
Module not found error. No.
Hey, those logs are
That's interesting.
Linux
Let's see why that might be.
lines.
So if we go back to our configuration file,
so it doesn't tell me anything.
Was because I misspelled the path, so it couldn't find the server. So portfo.
Go
Go back to
wow, nice.
reload and click on our website. Holy
It's
moly. We have our portfolio project
shit.
live.
It's running
And I
live
can
for
share with
free, bro.
They can see it on their computer.
It's running
There. Wait, that's
Python.
the world. Let's say in India. Yep, they can see my portfolio. But you want to know what the
Whoa.
coolest part is? Well, the fact that all of our pages work, but also our contact form. So if I do something like, let's make this a little bit
It's
bigger.
running.
R2.com,
It's sending email.
line, and then, oh, somebody super
Well, no,
excited.
it's not sending email. It's storing that into
And the cool part
text
is that
file.
next time, let's say somebody contacted you, all you have to do is actually go back to Python Anywhere. So let's go to a new page of Python Anywhere. Go into the files.
And database CSV.
And look at that.
There we go.
You have a new entry into your CSV file. And I can even save the file. I can download the file so that later on, a week from now, I can check out the progress and see how my portfolio is doing. And now I hope you're starting to see the power that comes with this.
Yeah, it's actually really powerful.
We've created an entire web platform ourselves. We've created the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. Well, we use some templates, but we still modify them to our liking, and you can continue to update them and change them to your liking. But we also created a server ourselves that also contains a CSV file that will be saved on this machine. And we move that machine from just our computers to someplace like Python Anywhere that has a dedicated server or a server space for us so that it's always running. And this is how things like databases and places like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, and any other database or server platform works. They allow you to use their machine. They make
It's
sure
very
that they're going to run fast,
convenient.
they're always going to be on. And
I don't have to deal with Google Cloud or AWS.
It into a dedicated database, so we can do more operations.
But I may like to actually do that
But I hope
too.
that opens up the world of web development to you and how everything is connected. In just
Well,
a few hours, we're
I can
able to create
focus
a
on
pretty
writing
good-looking portfolio,
Python.
right? I mean, yeah, there was some
It's a good
configuration, some
skill.
issues, but now that you know how to do it, I bet you see a whole lot of possibilities of what
Yeah.
you can now customize the site whichever way you want. Maybe learn a little bit more HTML or CSS to make the website a little bit more to your liking. Maybe you want to add some JavaScript to make it even more interactive. Or maybe you want to explore different things, like perhaps hosting this application in someplace other than Python Anywhere, or maybe
Yeah.
your own database. The possibilities are endless. So I hope this was exciting to you. This is one of my favorite topics, and it was a lot of things that we covered in a short amount of time. You're not going to be an expert web developer just from a few videos, but I hope this at least shows you the world of web development and how you might want to be involved in this world. Good job getting this far. This was a really tough section. If your brain hurts, don't worry. Go take a nap, and I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, nice. Wait, is the section over? Okay, what does it read? I'm going to be back. I need to go to the restroom. Be right back. Okay, anyway. So you just scratch the surface of web development. Your portfolio more, go improving the works, HTML section. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was a really good exercise. It was a really good chapter, especially the last two videos that are showing me how to. Oh wait, there is a portfolio link here. Is it still on? Oh my god! Look at this. Oh. And it's working out. I wonder if he reads those. I don't know. What? Okay. Okay. So this is the template I was using. At this time, I'm not really planning on. Oh, Tesla. Who's this guy? I don't know. Okay. Let's not get distracted here. So my plan is to continue now with automated testing. I already watched these first two videos, which gives me an overview, but I'm going to rewatch them again because this was like 2 or 3 days ago. I don't remember. And I'm going to push through watching the videos. Okay.
Let's talk about a possible career path.
Just give me a minute. There we go. Let's avoid more distractions now.
When you know Python. And one is testing and automation. Now, what is that? Why would we use this? Well, think about it. If, let's say, you had a company that was working on an app, you want to make sure that this app works properly. And what a lot of companies do is hire people who can help with testing. Now, we have a section on testing with Python in this course, where we write unit tests through code. But usually when people work with applications, we're human users. We perhaps touch the screen if the app is on an iPad. Perhaps we scroll through and submit a form. We need to test and automate these steps to make sure our applications work. And companies hire Python developers in order to help with automation. You see, through programming, we can actually interact with something like a browser or an app and mimic human actions to make sure that the application works as expected. Now, this isn't just for phone apps. This works all across software. If you're working with software, you want to make sure that it works properly. And instead of hiring thousands of people to test your app, I mean, you could totally do that. You can also, through code, mimic thousands, millions of users playing through your app and testing out your application. So in the next couple of videos, I'm going to show you how a testing automation person might work with Python. It's going to be a fun one. Through code, we're going to perform actions on the browser. Let's get started. To browse or use a browser without a human involved. Just through code, we can act and move around the mouse, click on buttons, and interact with the website. And in this section, we're going to be using Selenium. Now, in order to install Selenium, as you can see, we'll have to use pip install. Now, at the bottom here, you see that it says you may consider using virtual env to create isolated Python environments. Now, we already know about this, right? You could install pip install like this and have it available across your entire machine, or you can use something like pip env to install it just for your specific project, or you can use PyCharm and use their automatic virtual environments. Now, we've covered those topics in the other videos, so I won't here. In my case, I'm just going to install it globally like this. So I'm going to get started. First, we're going to install Selenium. So I'm going to say pip, in my case, pip3, install Selenium. Awesome. Now, once you have...
I'm going to do that. Oh, wait. My server is still running. Okay, I guess this branch is no longer needed. Okay. Before continuing, I might like to go to GitLab. Okay, create a merge request. And nothing weird is going on. Okay. There we go. And where is 19 web development? There we go. Here are my files. There we go. And I'm not getting there. Okay. Well, on my side, now let's get, oh wait. Oh, those are a lot of files. And everything seems in order. I guess it's time to delete the working branch. Goodbye. Okay, just making sure that I only had one branch, and I'm going to create a new branch in order to work on the new code. So git and let's call this automation testing, or maybe I should just call it well, automation testing There are 2 sections now, around 3 hours, okay, of video. Okay, let's call it finishing Python course, and this is going to be my last branch. Okay.
Selenium installed. You can create a file. In my case, I have.
Oh wait, I forgot about section 20, I guess. Automation testing. Okay. Oh wait. So just to make it easier to type. There we go. There we go. Is that the name? Selenium. Okay. Looks like everything is in order.
Automation.py file here. Let's make this a little bit bigger and this a little bit bigger. Let me clear this. Now the next step is to, well, import in our file. So I can say import, or actually from Selenium package that we just installed, we can say import web driver. Now web driver is going to allow us to drive the web through code. However, in order for us to be able to use Selenium properly, if you go to the installation page here, you see that there's something called drivers. You see, Selenium works with these drivers because each browser, like Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and Safari, has different drivers to interface with the different browsers. So based on what browser you want to use to automate things, you have to install each of these drivers. In our case, let's use the Chrome driver. So we would just click over here, and you can see over here that we have the different Chrome drivers that we can use. You have the current releases, so the latest versions. Now, usually the latest releases are not what we call stable. That is, maybe they're just brand new, so they haven't been tested enough. So what I'd like to do is to actually go to the Chrome driver tab here, and make sure that we select the latest stable release. So based on when you watch this video, this version number might be a little bit higher, but as long as it's a stable release instead of the latest beta release, which is Chrome driver 76, then that's fine. So let's click over here, and you'll see that as soon as I click here, it'll give me zip files that I can install based on my machine. Now, in my case, I'm using a Mac, so I'll just install the Mac driver. And once I open up the zip file, you'll see that I get this Chrome driver executable. Now, an executable is kind of like a .exe on a Windows machine. If I double click this, it's going to run some code. It's some binary code that we can run on the machine. But this is our Chrome driver. This is going to allow Selenium to be able to open up our Chrome browser and manipulate that browser. Now, in my case, I'm going to move this to my desktop because that's where my automation Python file is. There we go. Now, if I close this, and by the way, if you go to PyPy and click on Selenium, the package, it'll actually explain some of these installation steps as well. So you can actually run through this quick setup as well. Now, in our case, now that we have the Chrome driver, what we need to do is to now create an instance of the browser. So let's just call this Chrome browser. And this is going to equal the web driver that we just imported. And then in here, use Chrome as the browser. And then inside as the parameter, remember this is the Chrome class that we're driver. We have to give it the driver in order to drive the browser. Now, because our Chrome driver is in the same directory as my file, I can just do a // or use a string and say Chrome driver, which is the name of the driver.
With R.
Let's make this a little bit smaller.
There's a typo there.
Now, in here, if we had multiple projects, we'd ideally use Chrome driver, not just copy and paste Chrome driver everywhere into our project folders, but instead you'd put it into your path. What does that mean? Well, just like when we installed Selenium, when we did pip 3 install Selenium, usually when you install something globally, or when you have it available globally, if you're on a Mac or Linux computer, you usually will put it under user local bin folder, and you'd put it inside of this folder. If you're on a Windows, you'd usually put it in its path. In the
It's
Windows
a binary file.
And if you do that, you can actually just keep this as blank, and the driver will actually look for the Chrome driver in. But in our case, we'll just leave it.
No, just leave it like that.
So make sure that the Chrome driver is in the same folder as the file.
Because if the version
Now, here, let's print
changes,
out
it's
what we
way
have as
easier
Chrome
to just
browser.
change it there.
So I'm going to just run this file. Oh, and I get an error during handling of the above exception. All right,
Yeah,
so
because
file
there's a
found error
typo.
because I made a little typo here. It should be Chrome driver. So let's say that again. Give that another go. And did you see that? Chrome just opened up for me. So right now, automatically by running Chrome browser, I got an instance of the Chrome browser.
Okay, I'm going to take a little break here, but let's
see what
make it finish it.
Let's say we change our browser to just be like this. If I go here and do Chrome browser dot maximize window and run this method, let's run our file. Now, when we run this, nothing happened. And the reason is, you see over here that we get an error, and you might get this as well. It says, not created, exception, message, session not created. This version of Chrome driver only supports Chrome version 75. So you have to make sure that the driver that you install, in our case, it was the stable.
Well, I'm going to take a break right now. I think the battery is dying already. This was a game from yesterday. Okay. So I guess I should be downloading that first. The driver. And the video is really old, so I wonder if the steps are going to remain the same. I don't think so. Whoa, there was a lot of damage, bro. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh no. Please don't send me back. Oh my god. It's even worse. I need to clear out again 2 of those. Yeah, maybe I should just focus on Sock and ignore the other guy. Whoa, he's already here. Where? Anyway, I wonder if I'm getting actual good weapons from this mission. I guess I am, because I had the weapon that allowed me to get more weapons, better weapons. Oh, I think he's dead? No. Oh, he really has a lot of HP or armor. Oh. There we go. Okay, it's over. Let's go. I need to defeat him 3 times, or defeat this thing. I need to clear out 3 different outposts in order to save. Maybe I can manually save. I'm going to try that. Well, I'm doing a lot of damage to this guy. I think I'm going to kill it just with my regular attack. Well, I got a critical hit there. Not bad. Now, I wonder if this is going to... I can save here. I wonder if I can save manually. Oh, wait, I think I can. No. No. Oh, this is a tutorial. Can I save? No. Menu. Options. No. I guess I need to not die there. Let's figure it out later.
is compatible with the version of Chrome that you have. Most likely, you'll have to update your Chrome version. So you see over here that I have a version 74. But in here it says, hey, this is compatible only with Chrome version 75. So how can we fix this? We're simply going to relaunch.
Okay.
I've updated my Chrome version. Again, if you're not sure how to do that, you simply go to Chrome and go to About Google Chrome or Preferences, and you'll be able to update to the latest version or make sure that you're using the version that matches your driver. Now that we have version 75, let's try this again. I'm going to run my file. And look at that. I get Chrome is being controlled by an automated test software. So I've just created a new window, a new instance, which is what we've done here with the Chrome browser. And I just said,
Okay, let's try all that, because those are a lot of steps. Let's leave this place, and here, what's the name? Automation Pie. What? No. Okay, so he's importing from Selenium the web driver. Okay. That's the first step. Then he's going to instantiate a web driver from webdriver.chrome and the location to the Chrome driver. And the location, let's see, is that the name Chrome driver? Okay. And then he just opens a window, I think. Chrome browser, maximize window. Okay. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. This is not going to work just as is, because I don't have the Chrome driver downloaded yet. And I wonder if I need to, let's step back a bit.
user local bin folder. WebDriver is going to allow us to drive the web. Brand new, so they haven't been tested enough with these drivers, because each...
Okay, I guess in resources, Selenium with Python. I should be able to get started. Drivers. Installation. For Windows users. Okay. Installing from Git resources. Drivers. Let's try the Chrome drivers. Latest stable. So this is the latest stable one. Let's download the one for Windows. And let's extract this inside my Git repo. Okay, so I already had my Chrome driver here. Now, Python 3 automation. There we go. Looks like it's working properly. So this software is testing software. Automation is controlling Chrome. Okay. Thank you. And it looks like it's creating a new instance, so it's not messing up with my current open instance. There we go. There is a message there. What is it? Chrome driver. What? Deprecation warning. Executable path has been deprecated. Please pass in a service object. So I guess it's the way that he's teaching me is deprecated, I think. Okay, let's try. Okay, I installed it, just get started. WebDriver. WebDriver. Import keys. What's that for? Okay, and she's instantiating driver here. WebDriver Firefox. WebDriver Chrome. What happens if I do this? Of course, not finding the WebDriver, obviously. But this is it's getting deprecated. So I may like to move away from that. Well, it's not wrong. It's running, but they are warning me that I should try to pass a service object. Service object. I don't know what that is. WebDriver Firefox driver get assert Python in driver title. Sample. Selenium with remote WebDriver. No. Okay. Simple usage. There is a WebDriver API, and Chrome is inside there. Driver close. These are the list of exceptions. Anyway, okay.
Browser like Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and Safari has different drivers to interface with the different local bin folder. And you put, so let's say that again, give that a, now when we run this, nothing happened. And the reason is, you see over here that we get an error, and you might get this as well. It says Chrome version 75. So how can we fix this? Version 75. Let's try this again, followed by an automated test maximize, just the default site. Explore how we can use this to actually move through web pages. Now, if you haven't gotten this far, take your time to make sure that the versions match, that you're able to run a browser from your command line. And in the next video, we're going to do some really cool things. I'll see you in that one. Bye-bye.
Okay, now this is new for me.
Let's
this
start
is a
getting
new
into some
video.
interesting things we can do with Selenium. Now, what we're going to use for this exercise is going to be this website called seleniumeasy.com, specifically the /test part, because this website gives us a nice testing ground for us to play with a website. For example, if I do input forms here and do simple form demo, I can actually use this website to test out, typing stuff in, showing message, and seeing if we can do this with just code. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy this URL. And in our case, we'll just pick input forms and simple form demo. Later on, you can try it by yourself, trying out different things. But this tries to mimic most website functionalities, like form inputs, tables, alerts, and modals, and allows you to test your code really nicely. So let's copy this URL. And the first thing I'm going to do is, well, we're automation testers. We don't really manually type things in anymore. We let Selenium do that for us. So the first thing I'm going to do is say, hey, Chrome browser, I want you to get this URL. In my case, I'm going to say, hey, this is the URL that I just copied and pasted.
Okay.
Chrome browser, just get that for me. So let's run that code.
It's going to open that? Oh, nice.
I've opened up the browser with Selenium, and it took me to the URL that I specified. So most of the times, this is going to be your first line where we go to a specific URL. Now, I want a window to be maximized. So once again, we'll just say Chrome browser, and I'll say maximize window. We'll have a full-fledged window this time around. Now, I'm going to close this once again because every time we run this code, a new window is going to open up. So let's just close it for now. Now, the next thing I want to do is to check that we're on the right page. Now, the way Selenium works is that it's going to look at this page and try to grab elements or find elements in this page. And it uses HTML that this page is built on to do this. Now, HTML simply is, if I right-click on anything in the page and I click on Inspect, a developer console is going to show up. And in the Elements tab over here, it actually shows you how the page is structured using HTML. HTML is what allows web pages to get displayed in a browser. And they simply contain information about each element. In our case, see over here how it says Complete Automation Testing Tutorials? HTML says, hey, I want you to write this text right here. So then let's say we go to the name and slogan, or let's open up this. We see that we have Selenium Made Easy right here. We have an image, which is right over here. Essentially, HTML allows us to display some text and some basic content on a website. So with Selenium, we're able to grab these elements and check them and modify them and do what we want. Let's go all the way up and show you this. Each HTML page always has a title tag. And a title is simply what gets displayed up here at the top. In our case, it says Selenium Easy Demo. So what I can do is actually copy this and say, hey, in our code, is the string Selenium Easy Demo, is that in Chrome browser dot title? Now let's just print here and see what we get.
True.
Let's run this code. The browser opens up, and if I go back to the code, look at that, I get
True. Yeah.
because that text is in the title.
Huh.
If I do something
Interesting.
like Python Easy Demo, and I run this,
False.
you'll see that I'll get false.
Yeah.
Now, a easier way for us to check our code than just running print all the time is to use the assert keyword that comes with Python. Now, you won't see this around too much because what's going to happen here is if we assert something, if this returns false, it's going to actually error out and exit out of the code. So if I run this, you'll see
There
that
we
I get
go.
an error with an assertion error. This is a good
Assertion
way for us to
error.
test if something exists or not.
Huh.
Let's go back to what we had before, which is Selenium Easy Demo. That should give us true and not error in our code. Now, another thing here is we probably have a ton of windows here.
Yeah.
Let's close them up. And don't worry, I'll show you how to actually close these later on if we want. So I showed you how I'm able to extract the title from here. Another thing I can do is, let's say, hey, I see over here in my HTML that there's a head tag, and then there's also a body tag. So here,
Okay.
something like, hey, assert body. If I click run here, it looks like we're not able to grab body. So what can we do here? Well, another way for us to interact with a page like this is using selectors. Now, the selectors, I'll provide a link to some of the cheat sheet here that we can use. But the selectors are simply ways for us to grab items from a page. We can grab items by ID, by name, by class name, by tag name, by link text. There's a ton of different things that we can do. Now, to show you
Similar
here
to
how it looks like,
JavaScript.
if I go to the HTML,
Okay.
over here, the elements, you'll see that if we wanted to grab, let's say in our case, we want to grab this button, well, I can right click, click inspect, and see over here that I have the button.
Button type.
It has a class, and it has a text,
Class.
which is show message. If I go to the cheat sheet, I see here that I can grab things by different options. We can do it by CSS, we can do it by the link text, we can do it by tag name, we can do it by class name. You see here that it says driver.find element by class name. So this is how we can select it. So let's do that. I'm going to copy and paste this
Okay.
and simply say, hey, Chrome browser, I want you to find element by class name. And what was the class name that we used? Well, in our case, the class name is, let's say,
BTN
so I'm going
default.
to say btn default. And this is going to be our button. So
Oh,
if I
just
run
one
this
class name?
and simply print button like this. If I run my code,
Uh-huh.
you'll see here that I'm able to grab from the Selenium WebDriver a web.
Oh, there is an object.
It looks like it's an element. I'm not really sure what's happening here, but we
It's an
are
object.
something, a button.
You're grabbing
This
something.
button element that we've grabbed is exactly like we see it here. If I, again, inspect the element, we've captured this part of the code. So this Selenium now contains this button for us to use. And as a shortcut here, you see over here it says $$0.
Well, not necessarily
This actually allows us
that
to select this
button.
element
Maybe you are
and use it
selecting
in what we call the console.
many
If
more.
I clear the console and just say $0, you'll see that this is the element that we have
Ooh.
captured. Now in here, there's different ways that we can interact with it. One of the ways is to say something like get attribute and an attribute called inner HTML. Now inner HTML is simply going to grab whatever is inside of this HTML, which is the
Okay.
button, and then you can see over here that the button is closed.
The show
so we wanna grab
message.
the show message. If I do something like this, let's say we call this button text, and we print the button text. If I run this, oh, I'll actually get an error because you see here that I did the syntax wrong. I tried to print the button text and then got the attributes. So
Oh,
make sure
okay.
we move the brackets like this and run.
There we go.
There we go. You see over here that
Show
we have
message.
show message. So I was able to,
Interesting.
through code, inspect the page,
The page.
what I want to control. In this case, maybe it's this button. And I was able to grab the text using the get attribute method. Again, all these methods I will link to. They all are something that you just have to get used to when you get into automation. But if you understand basic HTML, then they're quite easy to understand. There's actually not a lot.
Yeah.
I would say there's probably 20 or so really useful methods that you can learn and use. But you know what? Right now, this isn't that exciting. I mean, yeah, sure, we've opened up a browser. We got to, well, look at a button and display the text that it shows. But I want to actually mimic something that we would do on a browser. Let's say we had this input. And I want to modify this HTML where I enter some sort of text. I click show message. And just like as if I'm signing into a website or upvoting. Let's automate that.
Oh, I get it now. You can automate liking, retweeting.
All right, it's time to do something useful. With
That's
our
really
Selenium.
powerful. Well,
Try and grab this input.
if I can do it with the API, I would rather do it
on
with
a
the
website maybe
API.
where we're trying to sign in automatically to test the sign-in functionality or to test some sort of a form functionality in our app. How can we do this? Well, let me clear this first, just so we have a clean palette, and start with a few things. The first thing I like to do when working with Selenium is to make sure that as we progress through the code, we're doing things correctly by using these assert commands. So I can say assert, and we want to assert that this button text, which we're going to use, which is show message, we want to assert that this show message actually exists on our page. Now, an easy way to check this is to say Chrome browser, and instead of title, we want to just check the page source. And page source is simply, if I right-click here and look at the
It's everything. Okay.
it's simply the HTML version of the entire website that we see, which should have the show message button.
Oh, hello there, the pattern. Here it says, I'm using Windows and install Pygrogan successfully with still module not found error. yeah, you should probably try to install whatever module you're trying to use. Let me see if I can. With basically, you could try something like pip install and the name of the module. But you say you're using with, and you install pyrogram successfully. File and pyrogram. Yeah, I don't know what that package does, but you may like to try to reinstall it, because if you're running an environment, if you are working with an environment like this one here, this is a VM environment, you need to install it there. And if you are not running on this one, you need to install it again. So basically, I would recommend you to install it again and try again, because that happens. Am I working on that? No, I'm not working on an environment here. I should actually wait. We have, this is the Selenium with Python. No, I'm looking for, no longer need this. I'm going to Selenium test ground. That should be it. And there we go.
So by doing this, hopefully, if everything works up until line 12, we should just get true without any errors. So let's run that. All right, we don't get any errors. Everything is good. Now let's.
Wait, I mean like to actually copy paste all that, but he didn't put that source code here. So I guess I'm going to be checking out manually. Okay, where are we? Line number 6. I'm going to delete that one. Cron driver. Well, I might like to add the cron driver. This is going to be a new branch on the remote. Okay, let's check it out. I guess I can delete this. He's making an assertion here. Selenium easy demo in Chrome driver title. And what else? Let's try that first. Let's see if that runs. Assertion error. Okay, that's not the name. Let's see what's the title name. What the hell is this? Okay. And the title should be around here. Well, the title changed, but not by that much. So the title changed a little bit. Okay, let's try word wrap. There we go. Assertion error. It didn't work. Why not? Yeah, that's the name. I'm gonna like to print the cron driver .title and see what's going on there. Oh wait, because I'm doing it after the fact, it's not going to work. Okay. Cron driver, web driver, cron driver, trace back. It's not printing anything. Returns the title of the current page is a string. Okay, yeah. It looks weird. What happened? I messed up, I guess. Somehow. Okay, what? Oh, I didn't remember all my... Okay, the assertion is failing. I'm not seeing... Maybe I should just comment it out. Okay. Do I have a... I don't see the message though. Deprecation warning. I don't see the title though. Wait, I think I'm wrong here because I forgot to... Yeah, I'm not opening... Yeah, it's never going to be because I'm not opening the web page. I forgot about it. Okay, let's see. Chrome browser get and the URL. Chrome browser. Oh, he refactored the name. There we go. Chrome browser. Now, and here I should put in the URL. There we go. Looks like it works. And now I should be able to run the assertion. You're no longer called Chrome browser. There we go, it's loading. And it's asserting. Selenium Easy Best Demo website. Okay. There we go. So far, so good. What else do we need to test? He's getting a button text. A button text. Button text, Chrome browser final by class name. Okay. Instead of printing this out, wait, what's the name of the method again? Find element. Okay. Find element, is that class? By class name, I think so. And I wonder what happens when you have several classes. What do you need to do? BT and something. BT and default. I think that was cool. I wonder if the recent version is the same. Nope. Okay, time to take a break. Okay. Those boxes had a lot of money. That's what I'm looking for, money. Whoa, what? Video died again on me, why? I wonder what's the issue with my HDMI splitter. Now here I need to be really careful because a combo can basically kill me on one shot. No. Oh, wait, I lost video. Whoa, that's new. Whoa, that was close. Whoa. Yeah, I'm going to need to. I'm about to die. No, that's the wrong one. Wait, what? I lost video again. Whoa. Come on, break it. Oh my god, video's dying on me. This ain't good. Maybe with another one. Wait, is he alive? Whoa! He's still on. Watch it. Okay, this is bomb. Oh my god, video went down again. Yeah, I need to see what's going on with that HDMI splitter. It doesn't seem to be working properly. Wait, is that the end of the mission? I cannot attack anymore. Okay. Whoa, that took several attempts. Some money. 2,000 is way too little. Oh, nice. This is great. I wonder if I can sell some of this. No, I guess I should be using them for as materials only. Okay, that's a new weapon, I guess. Okay. Oh, I need to sell something. Oh wait, no, that's not. What's this? Attack speed, nah. Okay. Okay, I'm getting materials. Wait, what? Oh, it's not a requirement. Oh my god. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm going to be back. I need to go to the restroom real quick. I'm back. I'm sorry about that. The coffee is doing its work on myself. Okay. I don't know why the control is failing a lot. Anyway, so let's look for oh, because there is no button anymore. Never mind. Let's see, input forms, impulse form demo. So this is the one. So I guess I should be replacing the link. There we go. It's going to be quite a long URL. I wonder if that's enough and I don't need to change anything else. Okay, that's Selenium. There is an assertion error. Okay, so I guess I need to read again the title of the page. Okay, title, there we go. The title seems to be the same. Oh wait, no, I am on the wrong page. Oh, this is the page. Basic field for demo. Yeah. Yeah, that's the same page. Okay. Let's see source code. Let's copy this for the assertion. There we go. Yeah, it's another assertion fail for a reason. There we go. And looks like we are in the game. What's this? Okay, maybe I should try to maximize this window. Or not, I don't know. Chrome browser, the maximize window. And check it out. I think it's going to work. There we go. What is this? Okay, I wonder if that's going to be an issue because every single time I try to open that, that's popping up. Anyway.
Let's move on. The first thing I want to do is grab this input. So I'm going to inspect. Or let's close this so we have a better view of this. And use inspect on the input. We see that the input over here has it has an ID of user message. So we can grab this with ID, if you remember. And we scroll up to our cheat sheet here. We see that we can grab elements by ID using find element by ID. So let's do that. I'm going to say Chrome browser dot find element by ID. And the ID name that I wanted to grab was the user message. So let's do that. I'm going to say user message. And the first thing I want to do now that we've
Okay.
view of this,
Let's roll back a little bit.
use inspect on the input. We see that the input over here has it has an ID of user message. So we can grab this with ID, if you remember. And we scroll up to our cheat sheet here. We see that we can grab elements by ID using the find element by ID method. So let's do that. I'm going to say Chrome browser dot find element by ID. And the ID name that I wanted to grab was the user message. So let's do that. I'm going to say user message.
Okay, let's pause there. And let's verify that I am actually doing the same thing. Because those identifiers may change. Okay, let's see. User message. Okay. Seems to be the same. Here's the ID. That's an assertion. Find element by ID, and this is the ID.
And the first thing I want to do now that we've grabbed this ID is I want to make sure that there's no text in here, maybe from a previous user. So usually when grabbing inputs, I'll do something like user message. Let's create a new variable here called user message. And I'm going to say user message dot clear to clear where.
Okay. This is a method, I guess.
In the input, and then from there, and let's make sure this is underscore, like this. And then from here, we can use the send keys. And send keys says, hey, in the user message, send these keystrokes as if a user is typing, and give it the string. Let's do I am extra cool.
Okay, let's see. So I'm sending keys, not characters. Send keys, and we can send any value. It stimulates typing into the element. Okay.
That's kind of silly, but that should be fine. So we're going to mimic typing I am extra cool into that input after we've cleared it. So let's see if this works. I'm going to run Whoa, how cool is that? Do you see that? We just automated typing into a box, and it says,
Okay, let's try it out. Yeah, it did. It actually did it. Nice. That's actually really useful. Huh. Selenium is interesting.
I am extra cool. Awesome. Now the next step is we want to grab this button and then simulate a click on it so that your message gets displayed on here. If I click show message, you see that I get this printed. Let's close some of our browsers because I feel like we have a ton of Selenium browsers open right now.
How do you close them?
So now that we have this, once again, we can select the button. So remember, we can select the button just like this. But, well, let's not call it button text. And I like being specific here, so let's call this show message button. Now this show message button, which we've grabbed before, the first thing we want to do is to, well, simulate a click. Just like that. So we send keys and then we click. So let's see if that works. I'm going to save this and run. Looks like that didn't work. Let me check what happened. We get a name error. Button text is not defined. Oh, and that's because
you need to refactor the name.
So let's just change the name here. We can actually just comment this out because we don't need to print it anymore. And let's run it again. Whoa, do you see that? Also, did you notice how fast that happened?
Yeah, just automatically. Okay. Let me see if I can find an ID for that element, but I don't think so. Do you have an ID? No. btn default. Yeah. btn default. Okay. Chrome browser. Where is the button here? Okay. What's the name you use? Show message button. Show. There we go. Show message button dot click, and this is going to simulate a click. Okay.
Let's just change the name here. We can
I think I can just run it. No. Didn't do it. Find element by class name. Find element by class name, but it's not showing me the class name.
Step is we want to grab this button. All right, we don't get any errors. Everything is good. We want to just check the page. And we want to assert that this button text, which we're going to use, which is show message, we want to assert that this show message actually exists on our page. Now, an easy way to check this is to say Chrome browser, and instead of title, we want to just check the page source. And page source is simply, if I right click here and look at the page source, is simply the HTML version of the entire website that we see, which should have the show message button. So by doing this, hopefully, if everything works up until line 12, we should just get true without any errors. So let's run that.
Yeah, it does exist, but it doesn't mean that...
The first thing I want to do is grab this input. So I'm going to inspect.
How do you pick up the second one? I don't see the code.
View of this and use inspect on the input. We see that the input over here has it has an ID of user message. So we can grab this with ID, wherever's in the input, and then from there, class name. But another very useful one is element. Instead of class name, we use something called Css Selector. And Css Selector, we're not going to learn CSS here, but CSS in a
I can select
is the styling that you
the
do.
button.
So for example, if I was to
element
at the button and I do inspect, you see that the class has button default. And in a class, this is what we call CSS. This tells it, hey, these are the styles that we want. You can see over here in the styles tab that we have button default and button. And this controls our styles on a web page. For example, if I uncheck this, my button, well, now has no styling. If I uncheck some of this as well, again, the button styling goes away. So we're actually able to use CSS selectors, again, something that you can Google on your own, or I teach in my other courses, to actually grab this. So the way we would do something like this and grab button default is to use the, let's say, CSS class dot button. And this is a CSS selector.
Okay, I need to replace that anyway. So, is this CSS selector? There we go. The btn dot That btn. Is that it?
For example, if I wanted to grab all buttons that are under the form get input, which is ID get input, then I would do pound, which stands for ID, get input. And then say all forms that have the ID get input, and anything that is a child button, I want you to grab. So that.
Okay, he's doing it the other way around. So just to choose one, right? Get dash input. So this is following selector rules. I wonder if this is enough. I think it's, yeah, everything inside get input. In this case, it's just going to be one.
If I do user message or user button, I'll say 2 here. If I print this out now and say user button 2, this should have been selector, not select. Let's fix that. You see that I'm able to grab this element that way as well. All right, let's take a break because check out all the windows that I just opened up.
Let me see. Show button, show message button. Okay, I should be able to click on that thing. And super cool, yeah. He finally did it. Yeah, it's here. There we go. Amazing. So this is very basic, but I guess I'm going to be looking for this library documentation, examples, tutorials, and probably courses. There should be courses around. I think I favorited, I chose some courses as favorites. My favorite courses, or I am interested in my wish list. Is my wish list? Yeah, I think in my wish list, I already have automated software testing. I wonder if this includes Selenium by any chance. Yeah, browser-based acceptance testing using Behave and Selenium WebDriver. Perfect. I'm going to get this one then.
This is getting a little insane. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to close all of these. I'll see you next.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Let's see how to
Welcome back,
close.
Automation Masters. Now, up until this point, we've ran this code quite a bit of times, and you see that now I have a ton of Chrome browsers open. That's not good. How do we close these things? Well, quite easily, actually. All we have to do is say Chrome browser.close. Now, this close method is going to close our browsers. However, a lot of people sometimes have issues with this method because browsers are constantly being updated. And sometimes Selenium has some bugs where it doesn't close this properly. So this may work for you. Now, in my case, if I run this, all right, well, that actually worked, but there are instances where this won't work, so you might have to actually call this twice to make sure that it closes the instance. Now, using close is going to close the current window that it's open, which is what we're doing here. With quit, you actually get to close the entire Chrome driver. So let's do quit now and see if this works.
It's going to close everything?
Right. So that also quit the browser, but if in your code for some reason you're opening up the browser twice, it's going to quit all sessions.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, because these ones are all past instances, it's not going to know how to quit them. We should have, well, quit them from before, so you don't have to manually close these for now. But at least now you know that you just add this at the end. Sorry for showing you how to do that.
Chrome browser quit.
But I had to keep it open so I can explain all these things that are happening to you.
Oh, yeah. So I can actually see them. Okay. Chrome browser quit. So I guess I'm not going to get to see anything. Just going to open, do this stuff, and then quit. Yeah. And bye. But it makes sense because I don't really need to actually see anything if I'm going to automate the stuff. But this was a really good introduction to Selenium.
But ideally, you quit the browser afterwards. Now, this quit and close actually causes a lot of headaches, and sometimes it may not work on a browser. This depends on the versions that you have installed. There's a ton of forums online that you can look up and say, hey, why isn't my browser quitting? So it's a heavily debated thing that you can find information online on. If it doesn't work for you, you might have to call this twice, or you might have to check that the version you're using is working properly.
Okay.
Now, some of you might be asking, this gives you a lot of power, right? Because, I mean, I can start writing bots
way
to
too
Google
powerful,
websites.
yeah.
I want to write a little bot that goes on every single Reddit post and uploads it. Or maybe I click like on a Facebook page over and over and over. Maybe there's a voting contests going on.
Yeah,
And
that
I can
might
write
be
scripts to automate people signing in, random people signing in, and upvoting. say, what's the mission.
unethical.
So there's many good ways to use automation and many bad ways to use automation. Maybe you want to
Yeah.
send personal messages to your Facebook friends. Well, you can automate it and message thousands of them all at the same time using something like Selenium. But you see, websites are smarter than that. Because most websites will
They're going to
act
cut
when
out
it's a
with me.
robot
Yeah.
controlling it versus when there's a human because of how fast things are happening. No human is going to be able to send keys and click that fast, right? So Selenium actually has thought of that. So you can actually go back here to the site that I originally showed you, which I'll link. If
Why?
you scroll all the way down to weights, weights allows us to
Oh my
actually wait
God.
and simulate actions at a bit of a delay. So most people that write automation scripts on websites will use something
They
like
just
sleep
wait,
or
sleep.
to make sure
Oh
that there's pauses in
God.
between actions, so that websites aren't going to say, hey, this is definitely not
This is not a human
use-
being.
For example, here on the Udemy website, I tried to write a script that did things really, really fast, and you'll see that Udemy actually blocks my activity and says, hey, please verify that you're a human.
What?
So that it says, hey, I'm detecting something that makes me believe that this isn't a human. I don't want our servers to get logged with all this activity because, I mean, companies like Udemy have to pay for the transactions on the website because they're talking to backend servers. So you'll notice some of these things. And you want to be careful with automation that you're usually testing on your own product or your company's product, and that you're not abusing the other websites and trying to, let's say, game the system. But using something like wait actually allows you to at least not do things as fast as possible so you don't get detected as easily as possible. With great power comes great responsibility. And Selenium is a great tool for testing. A lot of companies hire
And the
testers and automate
responsibility
testers for
to
this
figure out
reason.
how
It's a great
to
career option for you. However,
turn
you can also do
around.
bad things with this. So be responsible. Don't do anything that might get you in trouble. Not advocating for anything of that. But I hope this gave you a little test into what automation testers do. And you can use Selenium not just on browsers. You can use them pretty much on any screen. You can run them on Android devices, iOS devices, pretty much any screen. I hope that was fun, and I'll see you in another video.
Huh. I may even like to work as an automation tester now.
Oh boy, here it is. The coolest sounding
Oh, wait.
section in the entire course.
Now, this is the target for what I was working upwards for. Well, this was just like introduction to Selenium. So let's go into to commit this thing. And we are close to finish. This was a short one, and I guess this is not so short. Okay. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to. What time is it? It's close to 1 p.m. I'm going to get something to eat, and I'm going to be back. Okay. I'm going to be back like in an hour or maybe less. I'm just going to get something to eat quick because I want to focus on this section over here. Section 21 is the main reason what I'm choosing to not just learn from this course, but to learn Python at all. So I'm looking forward to learn artificial intelligence and machine learning. In this case, this is just a chapter for machine learning and data science. I am a noob, a neophyte on these subjects, so I don't really know what they are about. But I guess that's considering what I've been watching so far, I guess that this is going to be just an overview. I'm going to be on the surface, learning things on the surface, and that should be enough to allow me to ask the proper questions about this. After this this is finished, there are only extra bits. What's this? I guess Git and GitHub. Coding challenges, I guess. 2 hours. Doing what? Oh, this is I guess this is a goodbye chapter. Appendix HTML forms. I guess this comes from his web development course. And then where to go from here? A 2-minute video maybe? A 1-minute video. Okay. And a bonus section, a goodbye lecture, I guess. So basically this is the last real chapter on the course. So that's why I just want to get something to eat and go back, okay? Let's reset the clock. And I'm going to stop the stream, but I'm going to continue with it later today. So I'm going to get something to eat. And thank you for listening if you ended out, and see you later.